Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is the first episode of the story, in which the brightest stars may shine from the darkest places. Hashirama appeared during the Warring States period. Hiruzen arose from the first conflict. Minato, the third. Surely, a bright light can be found in the darkness of Shinobi. Shimura Danzo, a Jounin instructor, leads Team 7. Please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons. Let's get this show started. For most of Konoha it was a day like any other. But for some it was a milestone, the first day of their shinobi careers. And for an observant few, it was the first time they ever saw Uzumaki Naruto in class early, and he would be hard to miss. With his bright blonde hair and atrocious orange jumpsuit, it was amazing he'd ever managed the level of stealth required for some of the pranks he was known for. In fact, no one can really say when he got there. Or even how he'd gotten there. Hadn't Naruto failed the graduation exam? Hey Naruto! Don't you know you need to pass to be here? You can't just steal a headband. Iruka will know it's not yours. Truly, Kiba was and never will be known for tact. Or anything that involved human social constructs. The wild Inuzuka clan's Ninken often being the more civilized of their pairings. Get a clue, dog breath. Iruka-sensei gave me this headband himself. I've already done my first mission, so how's that? Well. No one ever said Naruto had learned anything about tact either. PFT. Like the village would ever let a clown like you on a missio. Quiet down all of you. Find your seats and try to act like adults, which as of today you legally are. Iruka on the other hand, had both tact and timing. And fresh bandages? More than a few questioning brows were raised. Now, I'll start reading out the teams. Then after lunch you'll meet with your new sensei and begin your career as a shinobi. Of course most of the teams were long since determined, and the smarter members of the class, Shikamaru at the very least, weren't terribly surprised. Well, except for one thing no one saw coming, even Iruka. And Team 7 will be Haruno Sakura, Uchiha Sasuke, and Uzumaki Naruto. Your sensei will be. A series of emotions fly across his face, not even concealed to the fresh batch of Jinan. Shimura Danzo, your sensei will find you on his own after lunch. Sakura-chan. Since we're on a team together now, do you want to get ramen with me? PFT, as if Naruto. I'm not going on a date with you, I should be on a date with Sasuke. But I just wanted to get lunch. I didn't mean it like a date. Unfortunately, she'd already stormed off. Kami Naruto wished he'd never asked her out that first time. He just didn't know any better, he thought that was the only way boys and girls spent time together. Really he wanted to be friends, because when they first met she seemed just as lonely as he was. Before she started hanging out with Ino and got kinda mean. Ugh. Guess I'll go for ramen alone. Sasuke-kun. Now that we're on a team together, shouldn't we spend more time together? Kami let him say yes, just once let her win something. Go away. You're annoying. He didn't want to spend time with her. He didn't want to spend time with anybody. Never again would he let someone in. Never again would he have to lose everything. Though it seemed that maybe it wasn't a day like any other. A certain ramen stand didn't see its favorite customer. A small produce stand outside what remained of the Uchiha district noted the sole resident didn't return home that day. And the Haruna residents received a note, informing them their daughter would be entered into an accelerated training program and would be off with her team until its completion. A reward for her top kunoichi ranking, courtesy of one counselor Shimura Danzo. When Naruto woke up he was alone. Strange, he thought his Jounin sensei was supposed to get him after lunch, sorta figured someone would have woken him up from his post-lunch nap. Oh well, guess he'll go find Iruka-sensei and see what's going on. Only. That's strange, he can't seem to find him. Okay, the Hokage would know what's going on for sure. Off to see Gigi. Oh, probably shouldn't have barged in, that old guy looks like, really mad. This is the respect I receive here, Hiruzen? The first time at Tsuchika genders the leaf to establish better relations and a Jinan can just barge in. Who are you, boy, to interrupt Cage? Hey, I didn't know you old geezers were having a meeting. No one told me that. And I'm Uzumaki Naruto. And I'm going to be Hokage, believe it. The visiting Cage looks like he's been struck. Uzumaki, you say? Oh yes, I do see it. I see Kushina in your face. And that can only make you hiss. He all but hisses at the boy. Steadily growing more and more terrified as the killing intent blankets the room. Aniki, that's enough, this was obviously an accident. An accident that you flaunt the legacy of a clan I all but destroyed and he was nightmare? No Sarutobi, this is an insult. This will be war, mark my words. And with that the old man took flight, blasting his way out of the office into the northwest. towards Iwagakure no Sato in the land of Earth. And Kage? Onaki? Okami, that was that Tsuchikage had even said that. Why hadn't Naruto listened? A tense silence seizes the room for a single moment before a white-cloaked Anbu appears before the Hokage. Commander, prepare our forces. War with Iwa begins again. Naruto, your Jonin-sensei was held up. Can I trust you cause no more trouble until he collects you? Naruto nods numbly, before being escorted out of the room by a faceless Anbu. Naruto goes through life almost shell-shocked. He can barely understand when he hears that his classmates are grieving lost parents. By the time he's informed Iruka-sensei didn't make it back from a mission, he can't even cry anymore. Nobody but him and his Kage knew that this was all his fault. He can't pay attention to his training. He can't even picture his sensei's face. When Sakura dies on a mission, it starts to set in that he did this. That she was dead because of him. That they were all dead because of him. He sees red. Sasuke's Sharingan brings him back. It's different than it used to be. Sasuke is different than he used to be. Naruto's sensei is dead too. What was his name again? No one says anything, but Naruto knows what the claw marks were from. He's only allowed missions with Sasuke now. They all go the same way. They go to a battlefield, Sasuke makes eye contact, the world goes red, and comes back into focus with Sasuke's Sharingan. More often than not with just the two of them. One day they go out and Sasuke is more tense, more tired than usual. When they get to the battlefield, Han and Roshi dominate the field. Naruto sees red. But when he comes back he's alone. Sasuke didn't make it this time. Naruto just closes his eyes and lies on the battlefield, waiting for someone to come and either take him back to the leaf, or end his suffering. When he opens his eyes again he's in a dark room. He feels younger again, his chakra pathways don't feel like fire anymore. A door opens, bright light blinding him. He can only make out the silhouette of a man standing stick straight, one arm tucked into his robe while the other holds a cane. Today is the day of your team formation. Everything you have seen was an illusion. What I have shown you is a future that could be, as you are. This is not a future I desire. If you have the strength left I would help you ensure such a fate never happens. Naruto squints at the figure, details slowly coming into focus. He doesn't recognize this man. Who are you? Why does it feel like he hasn't spoken in so long? I am Shimura Danzo. Your Jonin sensei. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura sit quietly around a dining room table. Yesterday they were made a part of Team 7 under Shimura Danzo. After Danzo's introduction, none of them spoke much. But they were directed to a tasteful apartment in a quiet part of town. When Naruto arrived he was the last of them. All of their things were already moved in. It was a single bedroom with 3 beds, almost more of a barracks than a home. Of no surprise to any of them, Sakura had a great many books. Of some surprise was Sasuke's traditional tea set. Probably the biggest surprise was Naruto's collection of houseplants. There were instructions to be prepped and ready for their first mission at 6 a.m. It was currently 5:30, and Naruto and Sakura were surprised to find that Sasuke had made breakfast and tea for everyone. Even more surprised to find that it was very good. Naruto spoke first. So, did you guys go through a weird genjutsu yesterday too? Cautious, barely loud enough for everyone to hear. Sasuke looks down into his food. Well, that's about the best someone can expect of Sasuke all told. Sakura on the other hand starts to shake and cry quietly. Naruto starts to reach out but hesitates when she flinches back slightly. Hey! Sakura-chan, it's alright. It wasn't real, the scary old guy said so. It's gonna be okay, we're gonna make it better. We're gonna do better together, Sakura-chan. That was surprisingly sensitive, coming from Naruto especially. It's really too bad he has no clue what to do when she breaks down sobbing and all but jumps into his arms. I didn't know being a ninja would be like that. I didn't think people still did things like that. Naruto looks like a deer in the headlights at this point. He'd never had to comfort someone like this. Hell, he'd never been comforted like this. Oh god, he needs to be a good friend like now. What should Sasuke's being helpful? Even as dense as Naruto can be, he can still make out Sasuke mouthing hold her. And he does, and after a few minutes of sobbing she starts to get herself back together. When she starts to sit back up, Sasuke is there and presses a warm mug of tea into her hands. I don't know what you saw. But we saw what we saw to make us better. I can't see any other reason for it. And I can't find any flaws in the illusion. All we can do is make sure the real world doesn't go that way. Yeah, Sakura-chan. We can do this together. And we'll do better this time. Sniffles I guess I'll try. Good. Team 7 must be strong. At the sound of the new voice, Team 7 jump ready. More or less. Is Naruto holding chopsticks in a kunai grip? I see you will need to work on that. You were all to be ready 1 minute ago for your first mission. Finally seeing their sensei in the morning light of their apartment was unexpected. He seemed a frail old man, with shaggy black hair and a bandaged right eye. Most of his body is covered by long robes, though they don't seem to hinder his movement. Any of his soundless entrance was anything to go by. Yes sensei. An awkwardly unprepared Team 7 stutters out. Yes, we'll need to work on that too. Follow me. For your first assignment you will undergo a full combat assessment and receive appropriate gear and training supplies. Come. Danzo turns to leave, Team 7 scrambling behind him. There is a lot of work to be done. For the good of the Leaf. He would make Team 7 into a legend. All three of the members of Genin Squad 7 looked as though they'd been through a meat grinder. Danzo on the other hand looked as close to being genuinely angry as he could. This is what the academy can produce? Pathetic. Under my tutelage such foolishness will be unacceptable. Rushing in without thinking. Shouting the names of your jutsu, no unit cohesion, no plan. You expect to be a Kage? You expect to kill a shinobi that can rival Kage? You expect to be an asset to your team? Did you all learn nothing yesterday? After calming down, his gaze softened somewhat on his three cowering pupils. A swift double tap of his walking stick summoned a trio of masked shinobi. Each of them presented a bundle to a member of Team 7. Each of you have received your new shinobi kit. Anbu training gear, lightly armored, highest quality. In addition, two of you will find weapons I believe will fit your fighting styles. In addition, Sasuke, a training sword. Sakura, knuckle dusters will prime you for hard hand-to-hand combat. Many will try to force you into close quarters on account of your stature and gender. You'll be prepared. Naruto. You will find no extra gear. But sensei. Do not interrupt. Now Naruto, I noticed something interesting while we fought. You use henge as if it actually transforms you. Why? Because it does? It's the transformation jutsu duh. Naruto. The henge is a genjutsu, not an ninjutsu. Oh good, Sakura can still speak. What? No way, I'm useless at genjutsu. And I'm great at henge. An astute observation. I suspect it's for the same reason you excel at the Kage Bunshin. You have so much chakra it's used to being kept high density. In other words, it holds shape well. I believe you'll have a much easier time with shape manipulation than most shinobi. In effect, your henge is a true transformation. And as you seem to have an aptitude for Kage Bunshin, I fail to see why you should need weapons. I expect you to keep yourself and your team outfitted with all standard shinobi weapons. Is that understood? Hi sensei. All three chorus back, as Danzo is about to move on. Sasuke nervously clears his throat to catch Danzo's attention. Yes? Sensei, these uniforms don't have the Uchiha fan emblem. Am I not representing my clan? You can all make modifications to your uniforms as you see fit, either when you become Chunin or complete an A-rank mission. But sensei. Silence. I will not be interrupted by Genin again, and certainly not over fashion. That got them all back in line. Even as fast as Naruto heals, they were all still sore from their assessment. Now, you three are not a normal squad. You will not be taking D-rank missions. They are beneath me. I am training the three of you to be a first to the field recon and response team. The only one currently in Konoha's roster. Can anyone tell me who the last such team was? The Denitsu Sannin, sir? Correct, Haruno. And before them? I don't know, sir. Lord Third and myself. He gave that a moment to sink in before carrying on. This is not a task normally given to one team. Under normal circumstances we attempt to keep such high-intensity tasks divided. Make a new team every time. However, myself and Lord Hokage believe two things. Firstly, the time we can afford to assemble such teams cannot be tolerated for much longer. Secondly, we believe that this team can rise to the occasion. This is why I am your sensei. I am no normal jonin. I have fought in every shinobi war, I have run 2 divisions of Anbu, I possess jutsu, skills, and information that no other shinobi in the village can hope to offer. For example, Sasuke what was Uchiha Madara's fiercest fire jutsu? Fire style, majestic destroyer flame. But the jutsu is lost, only Madara and his brother knew it. How convenient for me then to be in possession of the journals of one Uchiha Izuna, pilfered off his corpse by Lord Dobarama? No? Sasuke just stared wide-eyed at this. It will not be easy, you will not be nurtured and allowed to grow as you see fit. You will be torn apart, have your roots spread in optimal patterns, you will be fed the best nutrients, allowed in the sun when it is best for your growth and kept in the shade when required. I have until July to make sure you dominate the Chunin exams. I have been promised at least 1 month of dedicated training time however, which will begin at 5 AM tomorrow morning. Some eyes go wide at that you will begin each day with a breakfast you prepare yourself. I will have a meal plan provided for what you will eat and groceries delivered to you. You will get ready, you will come to this underground Anbu facility. You will begin each day with vigorous calisthenics, followed by yoga. All the while you will be drilled on a variety of subjects, from jutsu theory to politics. Once you've learned to stand on walls, this will be performed either on the walls or ceiling. Then you will break for lunch, which will be provided to you. After lunch you will be drilled in either Tai or Kenjutsu at my discretion. You will run a mock combat scenario of my devising before dinner. You will have a break to cook yourselves dinner. In the evenings you partake in various games of skill and tactics, practice hand signs, go over formations and any other non-physical training I see fit. Now everyone's gone pale. Naruto. You have been given an unusual boon in the form of your Kage Bunshine. How many can you make? Maybe 2,000? It's kinda hard to say. I was really tired after 2. Understandable. For reference, the Kage Bunshine is a Jonin level forbidden technique. To make 10 and continue fighting at full strength would be a feat to admire. Naruto beams, do not let this go to your head. 2,000 times 0 is still 0. First we will need to make you into a more formidable shinobi. To this end, when you begin each day I expect 10 clones studying. I expect you to be a well-read and fully educated shinobi by the Chunin exams, which your team are currently years ahead of you in. Danzo gestures to silence Naruto's oncoming outburst. This is no fault of yours. I have reason to believe you were sabotaged in this field. There will at all times be a clone of myself in my office that you can ask any questions you need. I suggest starting with improving your knowledge of kanji to expedite the process. Sasuke, Sakura, I expect you to help him in your evenings. Danzo readjusts slightly. Now, there are just a few things I will clear up now. Firstly, people will react when they find out I am your sensei. You will likely be shunned. I am known to many as Shinobi no Yami, or the darkness of Shinobi. I have earned this moniker and regret none of it. What I do for the good of the leaf. You will understand over time. Next, Naruto, even I cannot reveal your secret to your team. But you will be trained to utilize it. I do not suggest waiting. Furthermore, Sasuke, your brother was one of the most formidable shinobi to ever come from the leaf. I would have you know I had a part in his training. If you seek Itachi's death, Team 7 is how you will accomplish it. All of Team 7 look to be in shock at this point. You are dismissed. Return at 5 AM. The day started, and would end at the small dining table it would seem. Thoroughly exhausted by, well, everything. Team 7 mostly ate in silence. So Sasuke, you like to cook? Solid icebreaker. Sakura, well done. HN. Well, that was more or less to be expected. Oh well, that's cool. Maybe with all of Naruto's plants you'll get some good fresh ingredients too. Which strangely makes Naruto look a little bashful. Oh I don't really know which ones are good to eat. I just got them to keep me company. Oh, there we go, a classic Naruto head scratch. Good, the world was almost back to normal. You were so lonely you bought plants? Well, it was gonna get sad eventually anyways. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I didn't really buy them, but yeah. No family and no one ever really wanted to be around me, so yeah. Naruto, I thought people didn't like to be around you cause you caused trouble? No, even before the pranks. Even father didn't want the clan around him. Shockingly, Sasuke cut in. Wait, really? The great Uchiha clan wasn't allowed around Naruto? Why? A shrug is the only response they get though. Unfortunately, things go awkwardly quiet again as Naruto starts to look extra nervous and fidgety. Well, now or never. Hey guys. I actually know why. I just found out the other night myself. At his sudden shyness, his team settled back into their seats to wait patiently. So you guys know how the QB attacked, right? 13 years ago? A pair of nods. Well, it turns out you can't kill by Juo. They'll just poof and reform. But you can seal them apparently. To punctuate, he pulled up his shirt a bit and channeled some chakra to display his seal. Oh, that is big. Is it safe? Practical question from Sakura. Gigi said Lord Fourth was the best seal master who ever lived, so yeah, I guess. And your parents? Gigi says they died in the attack. It was the day I was born, so the saddest of shrugs. Sasuke's eyes and stance soften ever so slightly. Oh. Well, I mean, how would Sakura know how to continue from there? I mean, Luckily she didn't have to, and Trauma Lord Sasuke knew how to carry it from here. Your parents were heroes then, Naruto. Be proud of your family. Thanks, Sasuke. Is it difficult? What? The fox. Oh, no. Or I mean, I don't know? I've never talked to him or anything. Maybe he's why I have so much energy I feel like I'm going to burst, or maybe that's Jasumi. I don't really know, I've never lived any other way, you know? Sasuke nods, almost sagely. Or maybe they're just all getting tired. Guys, I think we should go to bed. We have to get up really early. Yes, sounds good. Sasuke cuts Naruto off. No. I have something to say as well. The two shinobi settle back into their seats and wait for Sasuke to finish psyching himself up. Itachi was my brother. He slaughtered my clan. He made me relive it for what feels like ever. I've spent years thinking I just needed to hate more strongly and isolate myself so I would have less weaknesses. I guess just what I'm saying is, what I saw yesterday showed me that won't work. To beat Itachi I have to be better than Itachi. And I can't be better than him if I just do everything the same way he did. Oh Sasu, shut up, don't get sappy. You're my team now. I thought you should know. Just leave it. And leave it they did. They got up and went to bed. Maybe Sasuke and Naruto shared a brief look of empathy with each other, who's to say really? Despite being promised only a month of training, Team 7 received almost two months of brutal, relentless training under Shimura Danzo. They were clearly recognizable, but so very different. Gone was most of the baby fat previously present in the three, replaced by dense lean muscle. Gone was any uneasiness in their stance. Team 7 stood tall and proud, fully used to where they were in Danzo's methods. But to be clear, these were not root shinobi. Sasuke's slight smirk ever present, Naruto's goofy grin and brilliant eyes still shine. Sakura though? Sakura was different. Gon was the fangirl. Gon was the little girl that became a shinobi for a crush. Present here? A young woman with fire in her eyes. More heavily muscled than either of the boys, a slight forward lean to her stance suggesting an eagerness to be on. An excitement for the shinobi arts previously unseen. Of course there were smaller differences present in the boys. Sasuke is slightly more relaxed, slightly less pain in his eyes. His smirk is less rooted in arrogance, and more in a genuine confidence in himself and his team. The differences in Naruto were less pronounced, less jittery and anxious, quieter. All in all you could say he'd calmed down a fair amount. Team 7, at attention. Hi sensei. Perfect unison. One of the first things they had drilled into them was how to move and act as a team. We have received our first mission. Officially it is a C-rank escort mission. You will be escorting a bridge builder to Wave Country, there you will guard him until the bridge is complete. Unofficially, I have acquired intel the Wave is currently occupied by a trade company run by Gato. His company has seized control of all trade, and by doing so he unofficially rules Wave Country. I believe he will hire mercenaries to kill our bridge builder. Unless I determine the threat too great for you to handle, you will run the mission yourselves. We leave from the south gate at 8 AM. You will have the rest of today off. Hi, sensei. As soon as they were dismissed, a quick sunshine took them back to their apartment. Hey wait. It's our first night off in like forever guys. Sakura sounded particularly chipper at the thought. And? King excitable Sasuke, ever seeing all the grand possibilities in life. Well, I thought maybe it was time for a cheat day. Go out for dinner, maybe hit the hot springs. That's a great idea Sakura-chan. But, well lots of restaurants don't really like me you know? Why don't we get takeout and have a picnic? Kami Naruto wears his heart on his sleeve, it doesn't take any perceptiveness to see how he feels about anything. Oh. Of course Naruto. Why don't we all get some of our favorite takeout and meet up the Uchiha head family home? Through the foyer, left into the dining room. Oh, sure Sasuke. Of course he would miss home. I mean sure she missed her parents but she knew they were still there waiting for her. Sasuke. Well it must be hard not having much to remember his family by. Yata. Let's go guys, last one there does the dishes. And off goes Naruto. Geez he really just vanishes when he's not actively with you huh? And there goes Sasuke, his sunshine almost second nature. Realistically Sakura knew she'd be doing the dishes. She usually did. Sasuke cooked, Naruto looked after their apartment, and she did all the odd jobs. Dishes, shopping, mending. It was a good system. After picking up sushi and tempura, cheat day, Sakura took off for the Uchiha district. It only took her a few moments to figure out which house. As she let herself in she noticed Naruto and Sasuke's shoes were already in the entranceway. When she came into the dining room, Naruto was reclined across a couple of the traditional seating cushions, and Sasuke was pouring tea. You really meant it when you said cheat day, Sakura-chan. You haven't taken that long to run an errand since the first time Sensei cracked down on our time management. Calmer and quieter he may be, but leave it to Naruto to chuckle over one of their most grueling training days. Oh, to see the world so brightly. Yeah, well, not all of us are supernaturally fast or have a perfect mental map of Konoha Naruto. I had to find the house too. Oh, you knew I was teasing, Sakura-chan. But hey, what did you get? Sasuke just bought a bunch of fruit and sweets, but I got 3 kinds of ramen and miso soup for everyone. Only from the best ramen stand in the world. Oh, she should have known Naruto would still be hooked on the stuff. In that case, the sushi and tempura I grabbed should round it out nicely. Sasuke led them in a quick itadakimasu before they all tucked into the feast laid before them. Apparently one of Naruto's clones was hiding in a corner and snapped a picture just as they all separated their chopsticks. Naruto just chuckled, but if you looked closely you could see the slightest touch of pink on Sasuke's face. It felt like having a family dinner. You know, Sakura-chan, I think I know why you were so late. Sakura turns a little pink. Leave it for Naruto to notice. PFT, as if Naruto. I got the food and came straight over. It's more fun to play, even if she knows he's got her figured out. Oh sure, and I suppose you just naturally smell like your favorite cherry blossom lotion you ran out of last week then, eh? Cheeky jerk, he's way too attentive to the strangest things. What kind of boy is paying attention to what kind of lotion people are using? You're just jealous I'm going to be soft again while you deal with you can enjoy cracked hands and dry skin. Perfectly punctuated by her sticking her tongue out at him. Ha. You wish, your soft skin is store-bought, mine is all natural and I make it myself. He sticks his tongue out at her now. Wait, you make it yourself? When you said all natural I figured you meant no product. What's this made it yourself about now? Even Sasuke is paying attention now as Naruto goes bright red, realizing he gave himself away. Fine. Reaching into his bag he pulls out a container of miso paste. He opens it up and suddenly the room is filled with the smell of honey and green tea? Come to think of it, that is more or less what Naruto usually smells like. Most stores won't sell me nice things, so I learned how to make myself smell good. I have a really sensitive nose, and when I started Shinobi training I couldn't stand the way I smelled and my hands got so rough. So I spied on you and Ino. And I either couldn't afford the stuff you were talking about or they wouldn't sell it to me, so I made my own. It's all just stuff I can get easily. Honey, tea leaves, some oil I normally use for cooking and a bit of salt. Quick scrub down before a shower and I come out smelling great. I have another one without the salt for my hair after I wash it. Still blushing and trying not to make eye contact, he couldn't see Sakura's eyes go wide. Sasuke's just smiling a little as he watches his team banter, picking at some tempura while he waits for them to realize they could be eating. Naruto, that's amazing. Oh wow, that would work too. Hey, don't look so embarrassed. It's good you're looking after yourself. A pointed glare at Sasuke leaves the Uchiha looking quite offended while Naruto starts perking back up. Don't look at me. Uchiha have naturally flawless skin. Doesn't mean you couldn't ever try and smell like anything other than tea and weapon oil. Not my fault you can smell everything in a room. Eat up you two before I finish it all. And with that, Team 7 fell into comfortable banter while they finished eating. As they were just picking at sweets and finishing their tea, Sasuke provided another surprise in procuring a bottle of sake, and a set of cups from the clan stores. Warming it with a quick and very controlled fire jutsu, he served it out and raised his glass for a toast to Team 7. A sure sign of how much Sasuke was softening, in the clear affection and pride evident in his tone. As the night wore on and they all cleaned up and started heading back to their apartment, Naruto eventually asked. So, Sake? Yeah. The Uchiha clan toasts when a member first leaves the village. It went on said that Sasuke basically just named them all members of his clan. It had only been 2 months, but with how grueling they had been, Team 7 bonded deeply. Team 7 was his family now. Oh. Well, I'm glad we did then. HN. Well, some things will never change, I suppose. At 8 AM on the dot, Team 7 arrived at the south gate. Unsurprisingly, Danzo was there already. Though no one else was yet. Weren't they supposed to be guarding a bridge builder? Oh well, a quick sign from Danzo indicated they should wait. Danzo seemed unfazed for the first 10 minutes. Unimpressed when Sakura started braiding Naruto's not quite long enough to braid her for the next 10. And at the 20-minute mark he began to look downright displeased. Well, for those that know him. To the average passerby he appeared the same as always. Naruto, our client appears to be having trouble finding his way here. He's an older man, strong frame, heavily tanned. Gray hair. Assist him. Hi sensei. And to the shock of the gate guards, the Naruto he addressed puffed into smoke. A shadow clone? Not 10 minutes later Naruto returned, this time with a grumbling old man with him. He was clearly hungover and recently awoken. Laying eyes on the rest of Team 7 he locks eyes with Danzo. "Oh, and I suppose you're the one who told this brat to wake me up and drag me here, are you? Is this what Konoha provides when you hire their shinobi? 3 brats and their crippled grandfather?" Oh, it took so much self-control for the young Jinan not to snap back at this guy. "Come on sensei, get him good." "Of course not, but as our mission began some time ago and you hadn't arrived I feared for your safety. As per the mission I ensured you arrived safely via your Genin escort, Naruto. Team 7 may I introduce Tazuna, Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke. They will be in charge of your protection with myself as a failsafe." They all gave a small salute at their names. "You're serious? Well fine then let's get moving. I've got a super bridge to build you know." Did he already forget he was the one that was late? Whether he did or not he was walking, Danzo keeping in step with him as Team 7 took formation around them. They traveled in a reverse triangle formation, with Naruto at the rear and Sasuke and Sakura taking the front left and front right spots respectively. Naruto couldn't hide his eyes full of wonder and excitement to be out of the village. And so Team 7 left Konoha, setting off on the first of many missions they would be on that would go disastrously not according to plan. Leaving the village was nowhere near as exciting as Naruto had hoped it would be. The wildlife were pretty much the same, just more of them. There weren't many other people taking the road this way. I guess there's not much of a reason to. Can't normally get to wave this way, mild weather. All in all super boring. Oh. A clone popped. Naruto starts signing and coding to his team. Minancing puddle ahead. Was clearly not what his teammates were expecting, if their faces were anything to go off. "What?" was the unanimous response. "You heard me." "Oh, whoops." Naruto said that part out loud in plain English. "Oh boy, that's a disappointed look from sensei. Plan your engagement." Danzo signs at them, the glance at Naruto particularly pointed. And just like that Team 7 gets serious before Naruto starts signing. "Play." Twin nods, followed by Sasuke and Sakura dashing into the woods in opposite directions. A moment after they do, Naruto blitzes towards the puddle, which bursts into 2 wild-eyed rogue Kiri shinobi. All you can really make out of them are their black hair, masked faces, notable horned headbands and of course the bladed chain linking their clawed gauntlets flying towards Naruto uncomfortably fast. Luckily for Naruto Team 7's strength was team maneuvers, and Sasuke and Sakura appeared from behind the Kirinins. Sasuke's mark goes down easy, too dedicated to the attack on Naruto to react quickly. Sakura's doesn't. Gozu reacts rapidly to the pink-haired wrecking ball suddenly occupying his space, and yanks the chain attack meant for Naruto in between himself and Sakura. It didn't stop her attack any, and the man was sent reeling back towards Naruto who promptly put a kunai through the back of his skull. No, what it did was dig deep twin gouges from the base of her jaw to her forehead, barely missing her left eye. Team 7th may have panicked somewhat upon seeing Sakura's bloodied face. Naruto and Sasuke may have even been straight up terrified by the time Danzo pushed them both away from her and injected her with anti-venom. The wounds he closes not too delicately with a rough but functional healing jutsu. They'll leave quite the scar. Perhaps this will be a lesson on tactics for you. It's unwise to split up a team when facing enemies of unknown skill and ability. Better to stay on the defensive until you have a more thorough understanding of the situation. Naruto received yet another disappointed look. Not that he needed to. No one was more disappointed in themselves than Naruto himself. When he was quiet for the rest of the day everyone assumed it was because he killed a man. But all Naruto could do was stare at the bright red scars Sakura now bore. Scars that, in his mind, he caused. And oh, they did continue. Danzo informed Tazuna that the mission was now B or A rank, and the village would outline their compensation upon completion. Sakura was a bit sluggish but mostly fine, and Sasuke was. Well, Sasuke can be hard to read. The next morning it's obvious that Naruto hasn't slept. Nothing to be done about it really, besides Naruto could live off his chakra alone if he needed to, probably one of the only humans with enough chakra to do so. Sakura is obviously concerned and tries to say something, but Naruto flinches away and avoids her. Sasuke just lays a quiet hand on her shoulder and shakes his head. He'll come around. He just cares too much. Then why is he avoiding me if he cares so much? Sakura is exasperated more than anything. How could caring for someone make you want to avoid them? He cares so much it makes him afraid. Oh. Oh right. Naruto has never really had people, has he? God, he probably feels like she's going to be mad because she got hurt. I'll wait till tonight, but Team 7 doesn't work if we're not in sync. HN. You would hope that would be the end of Team 7's troubles. Surely 2 missing nin are enough for a first C-rank mission? Right? Well, the massive sword that just flew over their heads says otherwise. Danzo's not playing now, and the moment heads are up he's signed to them for a combination jutsu and has started casting a genjutsu to make it seem like they were shocked. It would only buy a second or two, but that would be enough. Zabuza broke it just in time to see Naruto and Sasuke shout out in tandem Team 7 style. Flash fire blitz before the world went white. The flames lasted just an instant, the fire jutsu so overwhelmed by wind chakra that it burned itself to nothing in a single moment, white hot and blinding. While the flames signed him sure, it was probably Danzo following directly behind the flames with a wind-enhanced kunai that was the bigger issue. In fact, the whole situation was so surprising that were it not for what happened next, Danzo may very well have cut Zabuza square in half. Luckily for Zabuza, the kunai only mostly severed his arm before a flight of ice javelins suddenly forced Danzo to back off. Immediately followed by seemingly thousands of ice needles, blocked courtesy of an earth wall Sakura raised. Unluckily for Team 7, when the wall went down a moment later, the 2 ninjas were gone. A quick look at Danzo to determine if they were out of the woods later. Team 7 starts looking over each other for wounds. In the heat of things, Naruto hadn't realized he was checking Sakura for injuries only to come to her face once more. His eyes go wide and he starts to pull away only for Sakura to catch him by the hand. "It's not your fault. We could have disagreed with the plan." The panicked look in Naruto's eyes is so genuine it hurts. "I should have known better. If Sensei wasn't here, the poison could have killed you. I shouldn't have rushed in like that." Sakura's grip changes from confrontational to firm and comforting. Sasuke picks now to chime in. "But Sensei was here. This is why we have a Sensei idiot. Who knew you could call someone an idiot so fondly?" Naruto calms down, but the light in his eyes just isn't as bright as it was before they left the village. While Team 7 sees to itself, Danzo checks on their client. He's fine of course, but to an observant eye, it's clear that he's begun to understand just what it meant to lie about the mission. Just what he was putting children though for the sake of his people. You would be forgiven for thinking the remainder of the trip to Tezanos was uneventful. In truth, its very lack of eventfulness is, in the eyes of the observant, the eventful part. For you see, something was profoundly different amongst Team 7. Naruto, a famously hyperactive and jittery youth, no matter how tempered by training under Danzo, wasn't. Not to say they were acting wrong, well, for anybody else. He held his formation, kept scouting with clones, and answered questions if asked, but it's like there was something missing. The light in someone's eyes that makes them feel present is shut away somewhere. The childlike wonder of the world around him gone, seemingly replaced by disinterest. Distracted might be the word. But well, this isn't really the place to try and work on a preteen's mental state. Danzo has a sense of urgency. It's implied that he doesn't think they've bought much time. When they arrive at Tezanos, the man gives a sigh of relief. And if you're looking closely, you might notice Sakura trying to hide a similar one. Team, break for the night. Naruto's clones can keep watch. They won't be able to mount another offensive tonight. Well, Danzo's usually right, so if the boss says it's okay. Tazuna beckons for them to enter, calling in past the door he holds open for the 3 young Jinan. "Tsunami, Inari. I'm home. These super ninjas made sure I made it safe from Konoha." "Well, at least you admit it's because of them." A young woman with blue-black hair and a tired visage comes into view as Team 7 enters the house, obviously the source of the voice. At the sight of them, her eyes went wide. "Father, what are you doing bringing children here? You know it isn't safe." Team 7 share a look, but before any of them have a chance to speak, Tazuna's talking again. "These kids are the super ninja I was talking about. I tell you, they're made fire and death itself. Even the little one's pretty good. Okay, Naruto's not that little, but he's a little sensitive about that, so no one's surprised when..." "Oh, actually everyone's surprised. No reaction at all. That's weird. Oh geez, even Sasuke's starting to worry now." "Well then, I'm sure these super ninjas have worked up a super appetite. I hope you all like fish, cause it's all we have lots of." She seems to be a mix of legitimately enthusiastic and exacerbated by her father. "Anything you can provide will be more than adequate for my team, and I worry not for your food stores. After tonight we'll supply our own food." Mr. Practical Danzo, just diplomatic enough to not be rude. As Tsunami gets everything set up for dinner, Sakura makes small talk. It seemed like forever since she'd been able to just chat with another girl. Well, probably because it has. Certainly some of Danzo's aides were women and yet, well, they're not exactly big on talking. Now that she was thinking about it, she missed Ino. She missed her mom. Naruto could be surprisingly good at small talk for some girly things, despite his fashion sense. With his sensitive nose and a green thumb, so he knows more about stuff like plants and perfumes and stuff than you'd think. Not that she'd tell anybody she'd been having girl talk with Naruto. No, not even Naruto needs to know that. He hasn't seemed to clue in. Speaking of Naruto, he's staring at a plate with a blank expression on his face. You could think he was deep in thought, but even if a Yamanaka were listening and they'd get nothing but static. Danzo's had enough. Naruto, tell me 3 things you can smell right now. A moment to react, slow beyond measure to the eyes of a ninja, but eventually his eyes focus slightly. Seawater. And fish. And cooking oil? Good. 5 things you can hear. At that, Naruto closes his eyes. Tsunami talking, the fish cooking, the ocean on the shore, Tazuna doing. I don't know what, in another room. Changing maybe? I said 5. Sasuke breathing. That got Sasuke's attention off the little bit of mending he was doing. Not something he normally did, but a torn sock is a torn sock. He didn't even think he was breathing all that loud. Stupid weirdo. Then don't sit so close to me if you don't want me to hear you breathe. Naruto sticks his tongue out at him, a little of his fire seemingly restored. Sasuke shuffles in his seat slightly, but doesn't actually move. Naruto is warm. Like, furnace warm. Even sitting near him would warm you up. Probably something to do with the skyscraper-sized chakra demon in his gut. By the time dinner is served, it almost seems as though things are back to normal. Almost. Bright and early the next morning, Team 7 is having a quick meeting behind the house. I expect we have a matter of days before a new attempt on Tazuna's life. Any further failures will likely result in the bridge itself being targeted. Naruto, I want to know what Gato's working with. I want the number and location of his forces on the island, and if possible a list of places Zabuza and his accomplice may be hiding. Use your clones. You'll also be in charge of watching the house. Sasuke, Sakura, you'll both be with Tazuna and myself. I expect all of you to gather food throughout the day for our dinner. Hi Sensei. Rings back Team 7. Naruto handed a kunai to each of his teammates before hopping up to the roof of the house. A quick plume of smoke and suddenly 8 more Naruto shot off in various directions, slipping into shadows or transformations of their own as they went. Sasuke and Sakura, mostly Sakura, give him a wave as they head off. A quick shopping trip before they start the day at the bridge. Certainly no stranger to tragedy, you would think our group's young Uchiha would be unshaken by what he saw that day and wave. You would think wrong. He was seething just below the surface. He's heard the stories, of course. Gato's slow strangle grip on the town, squeezing the life out of it while he emptied their pockets with the other hand. Why? Why are people dying at the whim of one man to test the limits of Mayabino? Orange, Sakura petals, the way their room smells. Think of all the things that aren't him. Maybe it made sense that Sasuke wouldn't take kindly to this kind of tyranny. At some point a kid not much older than them tried to rob Sakura. She thought he was being a pervert. Before she crushed his skull, Sasuke intervened and sent the man on his way. He's pretty sure only Danzo saw him slip some money into the man's clothes. He hopes it will be enough to feed whoever was worth risking stealing from ninja for. That is, of course, if he can find the food to buy. This place is in rougher shape than they could have imagined. Scouting an island like Wave isn't really all that hard. It's not so big, there's more than one of him, at least one of which is flying. Trying to figure out which of the drunks, vagabonds, street toughs and business owners worked for Gato, slightly harder. Figuring out why there's a young woman picking flowers in a less inhabited portion of the island is perplexing. Almost as perplexing as the individual themselves. No. Hasn't part of Naruto's training been identifying where a disguise stopped and started? This person's all over the place, mannerisms going back and forth, dressed as a young woman, bone structure not so different from Sasuke's everywhere but the face. Why does it even matter to him? Oh right, the concealed weapons. This is definitely a ninja. That's why he's obsessing over this. But like, who conceals a single brace of senbone? That's not going to do much. Maybe they're just to scare off thugs and this person has nothing to do with them? Plenty of people have basic ninja training. But no, the way they move doesn't match with that. Too graceful. Too sure of themselves. They're too young to move like that. Aw fuck it, they're not prepped for combat, why not do a little more reconnaissance? He puts on his best dumb blonde look and follows a game trail into the clearing the suspect Shinobi is working in. He intentionally steps on a branch just before stepping into sight, the individual jumping into a more defensive crouch than their previous kneeling position. A quick application of the signature head rub and awkward waves seemingly begin to put them more at ease. He even goes as far as to bat his eyes and look shy. One of the clones he's placed around the clearing would intervene if they tried to take advantage of his lack of attention. Hey. Hi there, miss. No reaction. Did he get the right pronoun? God, she's hard to read. Yeah. Anyways. I got a little lost, so I'm happy I ran into you. Could you point me back towards town? My team will be expecting me. Did she buy it? Who knows? Either way, if she thinks his team is expecting him, she's not likely to attack. Oh. Shinobi-san. Of course. If you just follow that trail there to the river, then follow it downriver to the coast, you'll find town. She's certainly acting the part of the civilian girl. Thanks so much. I'm not from around here, and with all the fog, it's so easy to get turned around. Call me Naruto though. Shinobi-san sounds like something you would call sensei. What's your name? It's not acting. Not really. There's nothing to see through, and this is what he's normally trying to cover up to be a better ninja. Clearly somewhat surprised by his candor, the unknown ninja starts to relax. I'm Haku, it's nice to meet you, Naruto. I'm not from here either, but the fog and mist feels like home to me. Where are you from? Oh, that's easy. I'm from Konoha. Only the best ninja village in the whole world. He points a thumb at his headband as if to illustrate. A long way to travel, even for a ninja. What brings you here? Oh, she's definitely a ninja. Well, you know I'm not really supposed to talk about missions. So I'll just say that me and my team are going on missions so we can keep getting stronger. Genuine passion and enthusiasm are way better tools of deception than most people give them credit for. He's giving away basically nothing, but putting this foreign ninja at ease. A lone blonde knucklehead is nothing to be afraid of after all. She might even underestimate him the next time they fight. Why do you need to get stronger? Surely a ninja like you has nothing to be afraid of. More digging. Can't blame the girl though. Well, you know, the world's not always such a nice place. My team. My village. I don't ever want anything bad to happen to them, you know? And I've been screwing that up a bit lately. So I need to get way stronger to make sure I can keep them all safe. Bio. Oh, too much genuine feeling. This is hard. Oh well, no going back now. And. Oh, her face softened significantly. Rat, he made the right play. That's a good reason, Naruto. I believe that it's when we protect those precious to us that we're our strongest. You know, that's how I feel too, Haku. Anyways. I gotta get back to my team before they worry. But you know, it was really nice getting to meet such a pretty girl out here. You get wherever you're going safe, you hear? Oh, that got a giggle. Oh, it's a cute giggle too. Thank you, Naruto, it was lovely to meet you as well. I know the woods well and I'll be safe. There's just one more thing though. Haku's already walking away as she talks. Oh? And what's that? Naruto calls back to her, I'm a boy. Is tossed back, accompanied by more giggles as Haku fades into the mist. Of course Naruto has a clone following her. Him? That was the whole point of this after all. But boy oh boy is he confused now. Back at Tezuno's that night, they all meet up and fill each other in on their days. Sasuke neglects to mention his act of charity. Naruto neglects to mention Haku's gender one way or the other. Or his confusion about it. With a clone of Naruto disguised outside of the enemy holdup, and a mostly accurate map of the enemy forces, Team 7 won't be getting caught off guard. They'll be ready. Now just time to pray it would be enough. They'd been outplayed. Obviously they'd somehow known about Naruto's clone and somehow or another folded. It probably had a hard time keeping constant vigil on the hideout for days on end. It would be a lesson learned if they survived. A very big if, seeing as they had just arrived at the bridge, and already Zabuza had engaged their sensei and they were down a teammate. Naruto was still back at the house, or, well, he won't be for long. The fake hunter nin rushes to engage them, and Sasuke rushes back. A quick kunai flick goes right next to the hunter's ear. They didn't even try to dodge. You didn't even aim at me. You and your team will die if this is how you fight. The hunter taunts as they go round and round in a taijutsu battle. Danzo was not a fan of combat banner, but Sasuke couldn't totally resist. Didn't need to aim at you. And just as the hunter's eyes widen, they're grabbed around the ankle by a Naruto clone, where a kunai had previously laid. The clone is quickly dispelled, but now Naruto knows for sure what's going on. Hopefully he'll back them up soon. He lashes out, sending the foreign hunter flying towards Sakura in the moment of surprise with a well-placed kick. The overhead kick they fly into courtesy of Sakura can't have felt good. The hunter bounces off the concrete bridge, the sharp crack of their mask nearly drowned out by Sakura's resounding CHA. The moment they take to breath is their mistake. One hand concealed beneath them, the hunter must have somehow formed a seal. One-handed seals aren't possible. Sasuke's mind oh so helpfully provides even as he barely manages to sunshine tackle Sakura out of the way of the forming ice needles. When they've regained their footing, the hunter looks haggard, her left shoulder seemingly broken by Sakura's kick. Regardless, they've regained their feet, and the initiative. The Sharingan. No wonder you kept up with my attacks. Though if it's a battle of bloodlines you want, I'm afraid you'll lose. Sharingan? No, he didn't even have time to think about it. Didn't even have time to process the pure terror that he felt the moment his eyes showed him what would have become of Sakura if he hadn't moved. The air was cooling alarmingly fast and all the water was forming into another jutsu already. Kunai do nothing to whatever is forming. He puts his back to Sakura's and can only watch as the jutsu forms into a dome of mirrors surrounding them. Mirrors which suddenly all bear the image of the hunter. My demonic ice mirrors are my ultimate jutsu. None have survived. And just like that, senbon from every direction. Him and Sakura dance, deflecting every needle they can. But Sakura doesn't have Sasuke's eyes, and she's taking hits. He can only cover for her so much, and if this keeps up, no. He screams in his own head. Never again. Never again would he lose his family. Heat builds in his chest, and he only bothers with a single seal as he brings his clan's chakra to bear in defense of his new family. The Uchiha Great Fireball Jutsu blossoms forth, and it seems as though the intensity of his flames might even burn him and Sakura. As much chakra as his young system can handle, he can't hold the jutsu long, and when he lets it go, as the last wisps of flame die out, he thinks he might have done it. Only to see Haku once more in the mirrors. One leg burned certainly, but his timing hadn't been perfect. Even worse, the mirrors didn't even seem phased. Is this what the legendary Uchiha clan amount to? A flame like that could never hope to melt my ice. More taunting, she wants them angry. They're less dangerous when they're predictable. Unluckily for the hunter, unpredictable was their third teammate's middle name. And at that exact moment an explosion went off above the dome. As everyone looked up, Sasuke felt his chakra enveloped by Naruto's massive chakra presence as one of his clones used the replacement technique on him. Sakura received the same treatment, of course. And just like that, outside of the dome, Team 7 was back in formation. Naruto seemed okay, but Sasuke and Sakura were pretty worn out and in Sakura's case somewhat injured. Just like that, it seemed like everything was gonna be alright. Until it wasn't alright. In a way no one else could see, Sasuke had to watch the dome explode, watch the fragments of ice turn to weapons and fly towards them. Watch Naruto's wind jutsu rise to stop it. And watch as they all realized it was just a distraction and Haku was about to put a spear of ice through Naruto's heart. The sunshine took him before he even thought to pull on his chakra. He met the spear with his shoulder and the hunter with his head. And then he was on the ground, and the world was fading away. The last thing he heard was Naruto scream. Only it didn't sound much like Naruto. The Kyuubi no Kitsune is a creature not many understand. But at its core were a few simple facts. The Kyuubi is a sentient, living creature with thoughts and feelings. The Kyuubi can sense the darkness in any and all humans. And the Kyuubi is the single most concentrated point of chakra that currently exists. Naruto never thought much about the Kyuubi. If it was affecting him, he didn't really know how. He'd had it since the day he was born, so it was just sort of natural for his chakra system to twine around the beast, restraining it and keeping it separate from the host. Not something Naruto was ever really aware he was doing. But suddenly he realized exactly what the Kyuubi was within him. Because for the first time in his life Naruto let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. For just a moment his constantly pressurized chakra slipped from his grasp. He screamed. A wail of agony and sorrow he'd never known from watching Sasuke fall. This was supposed to be his family. This was supposed to be his future. They were supposed to stay together. He had finally found something that drove away the loneliness and it was being taken from him. And Kyuubi felt all of this. And its howl heralded doom to all that would stand before it. Little was Naruto aware his scream was literally forcing everything away from him. A shockwave of chakra swept what ice remained to see, cleared most of the mist around them, but more importantly it sent Sakura skidding away. From her new vantage point near Tazuna, she saw Naruto on his knees. The hunter somewhere behind him picks herself out of the dust. For just a moment everything is still, the air heavy with anticipation. Laden with ancient chakra and the grief of a young man. Suddenly the hunter was lunging and the moment shattered. Naruto's eyes focused, and you could watch the red drown the blue in his eyes as they formed into slits. narrowing in on the object of his wrath. And then the dam broke. Naruto let out a breath, and let go of his chakra. Sakura passed out from the sheer enormousness of it laying across her. It's not a fight. The hunter lunges forward thinking to end this before whatever is happening finishes. But they can't cover half the distance before 3 tails of malevolent red chakra burst forth from Naruto and his eyes focus on her. The rage and grief she sees are the last thing she'll ever know, before the tails grab her mid-lunge and whip her into the concrete. She bounces off just in time to look up to see the monster she'd awoke and swipe to remove her head. Her last thought is that Zabuza needs to run from whatever this is. The moment the Kyuubi's chakra roared across the land, Danzo seemed surprised. Evidently he'd miscalculated this situation and should have allocated more resources to tie this up. I'm afraid Zabuza, I'll need to be retrieving Konoha's assets, so I'd appreciate it if we could cut this short. Danzo stills, letting out a small burst of wind chakra to make himself extra visible to the opposing Jounin. Zabuza thinks the man's gone mad, but he can't not take this shot. He's sure that's the real Danzo, and he knows he's not in a genjutsu this time. Gladly. The demon of the mist exclaims as he cuts Danzo down. And Zabuza can't believe it, that's real blood. The man's corpse is right there. He turns towards the raging Baijua chakra to try and figure out his next move. The moment his eyes are turned though he feels the slightest pinprick, before everything goes black. Danzo's corpse fades to nothing, and the impossibly sharp blade of wind neatly slices through Zabuza's brain. The quietest whisper of Izanagi fades away with the mist, heard by none. Dazuna isn't really sure what's going on. He's not chakra sensitive, so to him Sakura just passed out. Whatever was going on with Naruto was pretty scary. But then it all got real quiet, and when the mist cleared, Naruto was being held in place by wood? And that weird old sensei was holding him by the chin and staring into his eyes. Whatever he was doing seemed to be working though, cause Naruto was starting to look normal again. Within the seal, the infinite darkness that surrounded the Kyuubi was suddenly filled with Sharingan eyes, and the ground beneath its feet rose up in vines to entangle the great beast. Suddenly before the bars he could see an old man, swathed in powers that naturally bent him to his will. Powers that were not rightfully his. Sleep. He's not ready for you yet. And then the world faded to nothingness yet again. A few minutes later found Team 7 huddled around each other. Sasuke had lost a lot of blood but was stable and conscious again. The jutsu Danzo used to put him back together, the same as he used for Sakura, would leave a scar. But he'd live. Naruto and Sakura were both awake, but severely chakra depleted. Sakura had some minor injuries as well, but well, they had won, right? The color drained from all of their faces when, as the mist cleared, a figure was revealed. Gato's mocking applause echoing across the bridge. Well done, Konoha-nin. You've just saved me quite a bit of money. Unfortunately for you, I'll be needing that bridge builder dead, and it doesn't look like he'll be in much of a position to stop me. With his piece said, the man cackled ominously and raised his hands as the mist continued to recede, revealing his mercenary forces. They knew this would happen. They knew he'd attack the bridge directly if Zabuza failed. What they failed to realize is that Gato would betray Zabuza and come at the same time to kill them all while they were weak. A single ninja, well rested and with chakra to spare, could slaughter a contingent such as this with relative ease. But between the 4 of them they had basically nothing left. Zabuza was the most challenging fight Danzo had experienced in years, and Haku left his Jinan all but shattered. They readied their weapons, and prepared for the sluggish and brutal brawl that was to come. Dealing with the mercenaries was a gruesome affair. The enemy host didn't understand what it was they were fighting. Couldn't understand that 3 children and an old man were systematically slaughtering them. No flashy jutsu, no mist to hide behind, none of a ninja's preferred hit-and-run tactics. Just one simple truth. Kill the enemy, or die. Gato's forces charged forward, certain of victory. As the front lines were filled with well-placed kunai and shuriken, the men behind them took this as expected. When those men fell, the men that took their place were certain that would be the last of the ninja's momentum. Gato could see only the backs of his own men charging forward, and their battle cries. As smugly assured of his victory as the moment he stepped onto the bridge. When the charge slowed, the men in the back assumed they had already won. They could never have imagined the 12-year-old girl managing the bodies of their comrades with well-placed punches and grapples, aided by both chakra and the heavy knuckle-dusters she fought with. The blur that was a young Uchiha, never staying in one spot long enough for someone to properly respond to his threat. And every time it seemed like they were finally going to land a decisive hit on one of the young ninjas, suddenly they were replaced by the blonde one, who just went up in smoke when struck. The blonde one that was haunting the outer edges of the melee, sneaking into opening his teammates provided, and covering theirs. The longer the battle went on, the more it favored the Konoha forces, the bridge slick with blood and littered with corpses less of a hindrance to ninja that could use chakra to aid their footing. Their teamwork covering them as they maneuvered over and around corpses in a way the barely trained mob of thugs couldn't hope to achieve. When their lines broke, the living that remained fled. Gato was left speechless, and in shock. He would have tried to flee, but he couldn't break his gaze free from the old Jonin. When it was all over, he tried to beg for his life. Danzo just looked at him, and let Gato walk away. Strangely, Gato was never heard from again. And Gato's shipping corporation became the Wave Shipping Alliance, owned half by the Wave Country Council, and half by the Land of Fire. Team 7 returned to Tazanos on the backs of Naruto's clones. Sasuke lost consciousness the moment the battle was over. Sakura was awake, covered in small injuries, and bearing more than a few torn muscles. Naruto? Naruto was seemingly fine. Tired, sure, and his chakra pathways burned like he'd poured acid through them. But he couldn't make eye contact with anyone. Couldn't speak. Could barely even think. With his sensei's help he got his teammates cleaned, bandaged, and into bed. But when he went himself, despite the exhaustion wearing him to the bone, well, he spent the night staring at the ceiling. You would hope that after such an ordeal the young ninjas could rest peacefully. But for one Uchiha Sasuke this wasn't possible. An old dream, a nightmare bestowed upon him by his brother. Only this time it was different. This time when the streets ran red with blood, it was his blade that spilled it. Only this time it was his spinning red eyes he saw reflected in the windows. His scream woke the house. Naruto, who apparently couldn't sleep either, sat down with him. The look he gave Sasuke told him everything he needed. He's not doing any better than Sasuke. Sakura joined them next, sleepily giving each of the boys a snack before falling back asleep propped up in between them. Naruto couldn't meet his gaze, but reached a hand across Sakura to hold onto Sasuke's. Sasuke eventually fell back asleep, his team's presence helping him stay grounded. Naruto stares across the ocean as the sun rises. Entangled in his team, but unable to process any of what's going on, he cries silently as light crawls across a world he's not sure he understands anymore. Deep within the bowls of Konoha, in a nondescript concrete room, shame, anger, confusion and grief, a maelstrom of emotions raged within the mind of one Uzumaki Naruto, and if the state of the hidden training ground they currently occupied with his sensei was any indication, there had been one without recently as well. Tears poured down his face as he buffeted the ground over and over with his fists, voice hoarse from the ordeal his body had just been through. He screams anyways. His whole body is clearly battle-worn, blood is flowing freely from his hands as his claws dig into them again and again, not yet dissipated from his disastrous attempt at harnessing the power of the beast within. Just another failure to add to his long list. You think a tantrum will help you tame the mightiest being to walk the earth in living memory? Naruto, you will achieve nothing if you cannot control yourself. Flanked by two of his personal shinobi, as calm as he tried to be, even the unflackable Shimura Danzo seemed to have seen better days. His shinobi aides all but collapsed and panting, shattered bits of wood lying scattered around the inside of the sealed chamber lined on every side by massive Fuinjutsu matrices. What else can I do? I can't do this. I can't do this. A broken sob breaks from the child's body. After a moment he continues quietly. I can't do any of this. I can't clear my thoughts or harness my emotions or any of that crap. I just fail. Again and again. And people get hurt because of me. People die because of me. My team would be better off without me. Head in the dirt, sobbing and broken, the light gone from his eyes, Naruto is beyond recognition. At this moment, Danzo waves away his root shinobi. Once they're gone and the room resealed, he slowly approaches Naruto. Crouching down to be closer to the boy, he reaches out to turn Naruto's face towards his gaze. The Kyuubi amplifies everything about you, its power courses through you and makes everything more. Your strength, but also your weaknesses. A short pause, waiting for the boy to digest what he said. You are confused, filled with doubt, fear, shame. You don't believe you can do this and so you never will. To harness one's true power, even without the influence of a tailed beast, you must know yourself. It is said if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. You Naruto, do not know yourself. How do you plan to do battle with a tailed beast? A shocking amount of care and concern was laced through the words of the war-hardened veteran, the type likely only seen from him by one or two left living. Finally lifting his gaze to meet his sensei's fully, the broken and battered shell of Uzumaki, Naruto tries to make sense of what he's being told. I'm not sure I understand sensei. Deciding to take a seat, Danzo settles into Caesar. Uzumaki Naruto. Tell me everything you know about yourself. Seemingly even more confused, Naruto starts slowly. I'm Uzumaki Naruto? At his confused start, Danzo nods for him to continue. I'm 12 years old. I never knew my parents. Gigi says they died in the Kyuubi attack but won't say anything else. I'm a shinobi of Team 7. Danzo cuts him off here. Why are you a shinobi? Well, I attended the academy when I was 5. Gigi entered me. Why? Because I wanted people to treat me like they treated him. And how is that? Gigi is trusted, and loved, and respected. Naruto blushes a bit at that admission. And why is it that you wanted those things? At this, Naruto starts to get a little frustrated. Because I didn't have them. Because every day I had to see kids playing and be chased away if I tried to join. Because I had to watch them go home with their parents. Because I was alone. The bubble of frustration and anger seems to deflate within him, and he's left just empty again. And how did that make you feel? Sad? And angry? Now he's confused again. Understandably so. And how do you feel now? Oh, maybe that's a flicker of understanding. Sad. And angry. Tell me, Naruto. Tell me something you do, not for others. Tell me something you do that makes you feel good, for you. He looks confused again. Poor kid. I like going for ramen? Why? Because it's really good. I don't really know how to cook, and the Ichiraku family are really nice to me. So you don't really go for the ramen, do you? You go there because of the way people treat you there. And you eat ramen elsewhere to remind you of somewhere you feel at home. Tell me something else that you like. Maybe a sliver of understanding begins to glimmer behind Naruto's eyes. I like to play pranks on people. You can see he's starting to think about it. The people that you feel ignore you and don't treat you with respect, I assume. Or the village as a whole. You feel unwelcome, so you've found a way to be included. You feel like if you didn't make yourself known, no one would even know you. And I'm sure a part of you feels good, making the lives of so many people that have failed you more difficult. Keep going. I guess that's true. I also like my plants. I take really good care of them, and it makes me feel better sometimes. You found something that needs you. Sure as not, without your presence a houseplant will die. In a world you feel like you don't belong, where no one cares, where no one even notices you. You found something that its need for you is intrinsic to its very survival, and you found joy when they flourished under your care. The routine of caring for another that depends on you sustaining you when you couldn't see reason to sustain yourself. Here, Naruto, I believe we've found the core of your character. I'm not sure I understand, sensei. Naruto, you were never properly loved. Never properly cared for. You know nothing but hardship. Being a ninja suits you because you stagnate when not challenged. You perform your best under pressure because you don't care enough about yourself to better yourself, no, even to care for yourself when the stakes aren't high. You don't train the way you do to become Hokage as you boldly claim. You train the way you do because you fear what will happen if you don't. At first because you were afraid of never being loved, then because you were afraid of the future I showed you, and now because you are afraid of yourself. In fear you will never better yourself. Another short pause as Naruto begins to shake silently. You are progressing. I had hoped to avoid this kind of talk. But ever since Wave you have regressed. Your team formation timings are off. You don't contribute to mission planning. Your reflexes are dull, your training stagnant. While I understand the mission didn't go the way anyone hoped, we did prevail, and valuable experience was gained. What is it you can't move past? The lightest hint of frustration lines Danzo's voice, clearly unused to not being able to navigate the human psyche. He's answered by a period of silence. There's this thing I can't really explain. Like when I prank people, I only pranked people I got a certain feeling around. It's like, some people are wolves, and some people are rabbits, and all sorts of in between. And even if I can't really explain it, I get this nagging feeling about them. About almost everyone. Like I know who's really good. Like deep down, you know? Because those people don't make me feel. They don't make my whole body tingle like it's ready to run, they don't make me feel like I need to be ready to watch them or be ready to fight. It's not the same as your recon training. It's always been there, and the one time I really forced it down was with Mizuki, and well, we all know how that turned out. I knew that there was something dark about him. Not the way there's something dark about you. You're dark like a hawk killing another bird close to its nest. Mizuki was dark like if the bird the hawk killed, its mate came back to smash all the hawk eggs. Or, I don't know. Naruto was rambling at this point, but Danzo's visible eye widened ever so slightly. He can sense malicious intent? Is it like Mito-sama, I wonder? Or another byproduct of being so entwined with the fox even since his conception, I wonder? The gears were turning in Danzo's head, but that was more thought for later. For now he needed to get back on track. The point, Naruto. The wave incident. Seemingly brought back from his rambling of vague feelings he'd never expressed before, Naruto focuses back in. Oh, right. Well Haku. The fake hunter ninja. When I met them in the woods they didn't feel like any of those things. They were. I guess I felt like they were like me. They just wanted to protect their person. They didn't want to hurt anyone, and even the way they fought was almost designed to inflict minimal pain with maximum debilitation, and super low lethality. And I lost control. And I killed them. Naruto starts to tear up again. They didn't want to hurt anyone, they just wanted to do what was best for their person, and I killed them. I got so caught up in the battle that I wasn't thinking and I just acted, and they're dead because of me. I wanted to be like them, I wanted to live my life like they did, to protect my precious people, and as many people as I can along the way, and I killed them and they felt just like me. And even though I was out of control, I remember the whole thing. I remember the shock in their eyes, I remember the horror at seeing what I could become, and I remember the moment they died and they felt just like me. A failure, who couldn't do what they had dedicated their whole life to, that didn't fit with people and had failed the person that gave them meaning, and I had just failed Sasuke. And Naruto was hyperventilating and hysteric at this point, making less and less sense as he spiraled. Naruto. Danzo tries softly to interrupt, but the boy is hysterical at this point, and doesn't hear his attempt. Naruto. Danzo's venerable chakra flexes, the presence of a man that had above all endured 3 shinobi world wars, and had lost nearly everything he held dear other than the village, asserts itself in the dark room. Not an aggressive flex like the chakra of a younger man, but the firm grip of a force that can weather any storm. Naruto falls silent, tears still streaming down his face before he answers the true question his sensei has been asking him. I feel like I killed myself on that bridge. I feel like I killed the me that I wanted to be. Haku was everything I like in people. Soft, and kind, and she knew who I was before I knew who he was, and he didn't try and attack me. He played dumb so we wouldn't have to hurt each other, and so did I, and I want to be that me. The me that uses my strength to help people, not to hurt them or punish them. And I don't think the me that killed Haku belongs on Team 7. And there it was, stipped bare into its core. Naruto seemed to be all cried out now and brought himself into Caesar to match his sensei. I think, Naruto, that once again it is your own fear driving you. Haku is already dead. There is nothing you can do to bring them back within any morality that they would agree to. But if you continue to be afraid of what your could be, your team could very well die because of your restraint. You must have the courage to act, and the wisdom to know when and how to act. You understand yourself better now than you ever have, and with understanding becomes power. Be aware of your thoughts, be aware of what drives them, correct them when they take turns you don't like. You and only you are in control of your actions. When you feel rage bubble to the surface, breath, ask yourself why you are angry. Do not simply react to your feelings, understand where they come from and act to resolve them, not satiate them. You are angry at yourself for losing control? Good, do not be afraid of that anger, use it as motivation to never let it happen again. When you feel the Kyuubi's chakra rise to the surface, do not flinch even for a moment, grasp it firmly and with your true intent. Only then can you hope to tame the beast. But sensei. When I killed Haku, my intent was to kill him. I thought he killed Sasuke and it hurt so bad that Naruto trailed off at that. That you what, Naruto? That I never wanted to feel that way again, Naruto said quietly. Yes. And you still had a teammate alive on that bridge, and a sensei. Your anger wasn't that Haku had killed Sasuke as part of the mission, it was that they could do it again to Sakura, or myself. And that fear led you to be angry that he could do that to you, and your anger led to the Kyuubi, who took that same grief-filled rage and fed it back with its own, overwhelming you. You must be mindful, all shinobi can fall into this trap, but you especially should strive to avoid it. A renowned shinobi of the leaf is known for his belief in looking underneath the underneath, and this belief would serve you well. Always consider not just how to resolve a situation, but also why you would resolve it that way, and if that solution truly resolves it. And when you do settle on a course of action, you must do so without doubt, trust in yourself and your resolve will see it done. My greatest failing in life was to doubt myself when people needed me, and a man I respected more than any other died as a result. I would see you not make the same mistake I did. Danzo's presence in the room softened, revealing just slightly some of the pain he's survived. I think I understand, Sensei. It won't be easy, will it? Just there, a spark, a glimmer of Naruto's fire back in his eyes. Less wild and untamed, but more focused than ever. No, Naruto, I don't believe it ever has been. But I would never have taken you as a student if I didn't believe you capable of it. Rise now, your team has missed you these past weeks. Standing back to his full height, his chakra coiling back within him, Team 7's stoic sensei's face returned to its normal form, his gaze betraying nothing of the ordeal they had just undergone. Naruto stood too, the anxiety that had plagued him as long as he could remember abating ever so slightly, and the fear he had carried since that fateful mission finally beginning to rest. When Naruto returned home to the apartment Team 7 shared, he was exhausted both physically and emotionally, but he still had one thing left he had to do before he went to sleep. Taking a deep steadying breath, he let himself in the door and stood by the entrance to their admittedly small apartment. Being used to him basically slipping in and straight to bed after a quick shower, Sasuke and Sakura looked up in confusion when he was just standing there. Hey guys. A little bit tearing up again. He tries to continue as his team's eyes widen at the unexpected display of emotion. He'd be so closed off they had decided to give him his space and let him come to them, but they weren't totally expecting it to be today. Sakura is already on her feet taking one of Naruto's hands. By the time he registers it, and takes another deep breath to try and keep going, Sasuke's standing there next to her. With his team with him, and his breathing steadied back out, Naruto begins again. I know I haven't really been myself lately. Since. And I don't know that I'll ever be who I used to be. Or that I even want to be. But, what I do know now is that I want to be with you guys. And I can't do that if I'm not really here. I don't know if that makes sense, but, well, a lot of this is just so new to me and I'm still learning how to do this whole having people thing. But I'm gonna start trying, and I'm gonna try to just be me. Not to impress the village or earn anyone's respect, but just to be Team 7. I mean, if you guys will still have me. The emotion in Naruto's voice permeated every word he spoke, and his team was struck by his sincerity. For just a moment they were perfectly still while they processed Naruto all but laying himself bare before them. Naruto's anxiety was at a brief all-time high as he all but held his breath waiting for a reaction from his from his family. He didn't wait long as Sakura all but tackled him into a hug, a few tears in her eyes herself. She didn't even get a chance to speak before Sasuke laid a hand on both of their shoulders. Idiot, of course we'll have you. We've been waiting for you to come back from Wave for weeks, we've missed you. And now they're all hugging. Somehow they got Naruto into a bed, and as he fell peacefully asleep, haunted by nightmares no more for the first time in weeks. The apartment felt like home again. Naruto's chakra finally uncoiling and mingling with that of his team, and of course his plants once again. Team 7 was whole again, and even if Naruto hadn't managed to tame the QB, certainly some demons were vanquished that day. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.